Ladies and gentlemen, another day. Oh, wait how's this gonna look? You ready for this? Hey, check this, you ready? How's everybody doing? Check this, chat. Bang! How's that lighting now, son? Oh my gosh. Let's freaking go! Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very exciting stream. As I continue my research into every world religion, and specifically have been focusing on the religion that has made the most sense to me, which is Islam. What does Islam mean? Islam is an Arabic word that means submission to the will of God. That religion typically gets very misunderstood. It gets associated with terrorism. It gets associated with girls wearing weird things over their head. Turns out when you learn about it, it's a very beautiful thing. Girls are covering themselves to protect the society from becoming degenerate and becoming like the USA. Even though being degenerate is fun sometimes. But that's what Islam is it is holding the purity of the world together, just like Christianity does, just like Buddhism does. It's a beautiful religion. However, from my research, it makes the most sense because it's only about following one God. It is only about submitting to the will of God. That's literally what it means to be a Muslim. A Muslim means you follow Islam. Islam is an Arabic word that means you submit to the will of God. And Islam is a religion, the book of the religion, just like you got the Bible for Christianity, you have the Quran for Islam. So you got the Bible for Christianity, you got the Quran for Islam. However, how are we doing, chat? However, when I started seeking the religion, people started telling me, oh my gosh, you got to read this book. You got to read about Muhammad. And I was like, wait, why do I have to read about Muhammad? I thought it was about following God. It's not about Muhammad, it's about following God. Turns out, from my perspective, every religion falls into this cycle. It falls into a cycle of a wise man tells people things about their life and how to enlighten themselves. Then, after time passes, the man begins to become associated with God, and all the attention goes to the man. So you got Buddhism. There was a guy who was named Siddhartha Gautama who came to Asia, and he said, yo, what's good, homies? Let's go to the middle of the woods, and let's not say anything. Let's just sit here and Can you feel the peace? Can you feel the peace? I can feel the peace. That's what he said. Then the religion began to become about worshiping the Buddha. Now you see this cycle repeated in other religions. Christians hold the doctrine that Jesus was God in the flesh, and people outside of the religion don't believe that. They believe he was for example, in Islam, they believe Jesus was a prophet that was pointing to God and telling people to worship God, and that it got confused that he was God. That's what Islam teaches. Islam is only about worshiping God. But when I've gone to a mosque, and when I've continued to research, continue to hang out with Muslims, it's about worshiping God and following Muhammad. Because they claim that that's what the book says. That's what the Quran says to do. However, that's not the conclusion that I drew. I never would have thought that on my own. On my own, I thought, oh my gosh, one God worthy of worship. So I'm talking today. I am so excited for this talk. I'm talking with another YouTuber, as you guys know. His YouTube channel is called The Correctional Officer. And his name is Baba Shuaib. He is a man who shares his perspective online. I have watched one of his live streams once. I've seen his videos. In fact, he's even translated the entire Quran. Yeah. He translated the entire Quran. How long did that take? That blows my mind. He said he's coming in about 8 minutes. So whether or not he's here in 8 minutes or not, this is the pre-party. And then the real fun is gonna begin. And we're gonna get the chance to learn from someone who has dedicated their life to understanding the Quran, Baba Shuaib. W's in the chat. I am so excited about this. And yeah, I'm not gonna speak for what he believes until I meet him. So you guys can go look at his YouTube channel right now in the meantime, or I can pull up a video and do a watch party. How's everybody doing in the chat? If you are from the Correctional Officers channel, welcome in. My name is Grayson Brock. I'm 22 years old. I'm from Texas, and I'm on a journey to become the best version of myself. If you would like to support my research into religion, my research into Islam, my research into how to become the best version of yourself, my research into literally everything on my channel, I'm not even gonna, you can go see what I do. All I do is speak my mind online, and I'm not afraid to learn something new. I'm not afraid to destroy my reputation of the past and become a new version of myself. Because when I was younger, I read the Bible, and the Bible said something kind of crazy. Those who enter the kingdom of heaven must be reborn again. So every single year of my life, instead of having 1 year lived, I live 5 lives. I live 5 years every single year. That don't make no sense, Grayson. Yeah, it does. It does when you go look at my YouTube channel and realize that I travel the world, go broke, repeat. I fight Muay Thai, get beat up, repeat. I go to the library, open up a book that I think is going to be crazy. It blows my mind and changes everything I know, and then I repeat. That's what I'm doing. And I feel like not many other people understand the journey of what I'm talking about. Let me get my coffee ready. Baba Shuaib will hopefully be here 5-10 minutes, but either way, I'm excited. I can't wait that he's devoted some of his time to coming on here. And let's go. Let's freaking go. I want you to make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world. All right, I'm gonna get some push-ups in before Baba Shuaib gets to your chat. Let's go. Bang! Dang it! This has been pissing me off. All I do is work all day, and I tell myself every day, I need to fix that, and I never fix it. Let me grab my coffee. Let's get this bread. Another day, another chance to gain another nugget of wisdom. Let's go, chat. Tee me up. Okay. So guys, who's excited for this stream? What are you guys looking forward to? Let me know. Oh, Baba Shuaib, I see you in the back chat. I'll give you several minutes. You just let me know when you're ready, no rush. Yes, sir. Let's go. What's everybody looking forward to today? Oh, I do need to talk to... Someone just gave me an idea. Let's see. Got my books ready. How's the audio sound in every chat? Oh yeah, we gotta get 25 push-ups in chat before we begin. No matter what religion you are, no matter what your beliefs are, we can unite under one thing. Push-ups! I do 100 every stream. Join me if you don't want to be fat. What am I at? I always lose count when I'm streaming because I'm thinking about so many things. All right. So many books on my desk. It's a beautiful thing to see. Hey chat, you guys prefer when I slow down the chat? You guys prefer it to be slower? Hey, I just want to say, if anyone is here from the Correctional Officers channel, welcome into the live stream. This is going to be a good one. I am so excited for this, to talk to Baba Shuaib today. It's our first time ever speaking live on stream. Time to learn something new today. So, okay, I'm going to slow down the chat for you guys. And then, let's get this started. Correctional Officer, Baba Shuaib, you ready? All right. Give me about 30 seconds. Can we get a drum roll in the chat? All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new, my name is Grayson Brock. If you're from the Correctional Officers stream, welcome in. I'm about to pull him up in about 10 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to learn something new today. Let's bring up Baba Shuaib. Here we go. Baba Shuaib, how we doing? My name's Grayson.
I'm doing well, Grayson Brock. I'm doing well. It's been a long time coming, but thanks to God, we are finally here.
Yes,
right?
praise God. And I'm saying your name correct, right? Shuaib.
Baba Shuaib, yes.
Shuaib.
Baba Shuaib, yes.
I gotta say, I love your vibe. I
appreciate that.
I remember the first time I saw one of your videos, and I like clicked on one of your live. You were live, and you were like, we're not. You said something about how we're not slaves of God, and I've been hearing that term, and I was like, oh, I'd never heard someone say the opposite, because that sounded crazy to me when I started researching Islam. But Anyway, that was the first time I saw one of your streams, and I was like, oh, and then I kept watching, and then I realized you had a perspective that I could relate to, but hadn't heard too often online or around Muslims. So,
Well, basically, that is why they call me the correctional officer. Yeah, so that should make sense to you. Why the correctional officer?
yes.
Anyways, it's an honor to be on your platform. It's a pleasure as well. It's a long time coming. Yes, people were looking forward to this, and I
Wow.
think
Me too.
this is the right time. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Well, I gotta say, you say it's a pleasure to be on here, but it truly is a pleasure for you to give your time to this conversation.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. Actually, well, when I had to make time for it because of people were anticipating also. So people keep asking me, hey, bro, Grayson bro came on your live one time. He commented, hey, how is it going? I said, don't worry, guys. When it's meant to be, it's meant to be. We will
Wow.
meet. Yeah. So we are here finally. Thanks to God.
We're here.
Yeah.
Well, in case anyone here is from Baba Shuaib's channel, the correction officer. Well, my name's Grayson Brock, and I guess for you, Baba Shuaib, if I'm from Texas, best country in the USA. I'm 22, and like recently, there's been thousands of people following my journey of researching Islam, and just trying to figure. I'm just a 22-year-old kid. I'm a man, but I guess I'm a kid, and I'm just trying to figure out what the truth is. So that's why I'm looking forward to speaking with you today, because clearly you are devoted to figuring out the truth as well.
Yeah. Actually, thank you again. So let me introduce myself. I'm
Yes,
Baba
please.
Shuaib, the correctional officer, born and raised in Ghana, now based in Europe, Finland. Ever since God guided me to the right way of guidance, it's been like 14 years on my journey now. And the reason why I'm called a correctional officer is because I'm not a preacher. Now, when I say I'm not a preacher, people misunderstand why I'm saying I'm not a preacher. I do preach in between the things I do, but I only lecture. So if you underline the word lecture, I only lecture intelligent people to the truth in religion. So this is what defines correctional officer. So my duty that I've taken up onto myself is to lead people to the truth. You understand? And then walk away. My duty is to call people's attention. Hey, look here. Something is being hidden here. Get it and go. Because the reason why I say I only lecture intelligent people.
I noticed that in your bio, like right away.
Exactly. It's never easy to convince an ignorant person. So why waste your energy? According to God, Quran chapter 7, verse 199, he says you should just turn away from the ignorant ones. Don't stress yourself. You understand? So I knew intelligent people will make the journey very easy. So why don't I just stress up or devote my time to the intelligent ones instead of stressing to convince ignorant ones?
As the Quran says.
That is the point. That's where my guidance from, because Quran chapter 17 verse 9 says, indeed this Quran guides to that which is more appropriate. Yeah. So if you think you have any guidance anywhere, God gives you the more appropriate way of guidance in his book. So why waste your energy somewhere?
Yeah. This is exactly what you said. I remember when I read this. I'm not a preacher. I only lecture intelligent people to the truth in religion.
Exactly. Yeah. So by the way, this is my YouTube page, Grayson put on the page, but I do have a TikTok. I think I have closely to 70,000 followers there, because that is where I normally put my shots. And it goes by the same name, Bush2G9. The same on all platforms. You find me with the same name, Correctional Officer Bush2G9, just as Brother Grayson put it on the page, right?
Let's go.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yes, on TikTok also.
Well, guys, if you enjoy this conversation, then go follow our brother here. His YouTube channel. It should be linked in the description of this video too. And as Baba Shuaib just said, on TikTok as well. You can see shorts of his content cut up In case you're too lazy to watch it all, watch the long form.
Exactly. And let me explain the notion of the TikTok, right? I think TikTok actually blew me to the masses because, sometimes people find it hard to actually sit down and devote their times watching 1 hour, 2 hours lecture and so on. So with the TikTok, the idea of having reels and shorts, it's catchy. It catches the attention faster.
Yeah.
So it makes people reflect, contemplate. I have thousands of people who actually inbox me and tell me, wow, I used to hate you, but now you're making sense to me. I used to hate you, so when I go down to their level to talk to them, I ask them, what made you hate me? He says, because I heard you insulting the prophet. I heard you insulting God. I'm like, oh my God. So that explains why I said I lecture intelligent people, because an intelligent people will see the beginning and the end of everything before drawing conclusion.
Yes.
You
Intelligent
get the
people
point.
also won't hate someone before even meeting them.
That's the point. So don't judge the book by its cover. Ignorant people will do that. They will judge the book by the cover. So when I say correctional officer, this is what I mean by that. And so that's what I stand for. I only speak about the truth that I can prove and I can ascertain it. So when I want to convince people, if right now I have to talk to, I'm talking to Grayson Brock, and I have to convince you, I need to first of all understand your perspective on what you define as truth. When I understand what you define as truth, then I can meet you somewhere along the lane. Then we can make sense of each other. So this is what I represent. So I'm a submitter to God, just as the prophet was asked to tell the people. Quran chapter 27, verse 91. He says, I've been commanded to be of the Muslims. He was not commanded to be among the Shia, the Sunni, or any other party. No. And when we say Muslim, it's just an Arabic word which has been Romanized, which means submitter. So you submit to God. And the prophet only submitted his will to God, one God, nobody else. Right? So what you find people doing is allegedly they only assign it to the prophet, whereby he is oblivion. He has no idea of what people are saying about him because he's dead and gone. And dead people don't talk. So people will just say whatever they want, but the Quran is there as a book of guidance for mankind, and it will speak for itself. And hopefully, God willing, today you get to see the evidence.
Yes. So I have, just so we know on time, which I know that that if you're willing to, that I would love to continue to have more conversations with you, even offline, but more streams with you for sure in the future. I have about 1 hour today from now to stream.
Sure. I'm okay with that, because I think after you, I have a program after 2 hours from this. I have a live stream. Usually I do my program on Wednesdays night. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So if anyone is interested, they can go over there. But yeah, there's definitely. Sure. I mean, I definitely want to address, like, just your perspective on the Quran. Mm-hmm. But okay, first, if for the people, I mean, we got hundreds of people here listening to us. So for the people who have never read the Quran, like, could you explain what even, like, you just explained what the word Muslim is, but I there's so many people who still don't know what that means, because when I learned that Muslim, the word means you submit to the will of God, I was like, that was the moment I was like, wait, I've been trying to be a Muslim my whole life. Anyway, for the people who have not read the Quran and basically know nothing about Islam, could you, like, quickly bring them to what Islam traditionally teaches today, and then, like, your perspective and, like, how that fits in there?
Okay. So the act of Islam is not a new concept. If you check Quran chapter 30, verse 30, it is the fitrah which God has set mankind upon, to submit to God, your maker. It's just like if I'm working in a company, I need to submit to the boss. So far as I've been enrolled as a worker in the company, automatically I have to submit to the boss. And the boss has to give me rules and regulations that I need to abide by. Breaking those rules will make me guilty. I can be fired, or my pay can be, cut down. So if you take this analogy back to the concept of religion, this is what it signifies. We are only submitting to the will of the Creator. So he gives you the will to do the things he has willed for you. He doesn't want you to do contrary to what he is instructing you. This is what submission is about. So it's Islam. So that is an Arabic word which has been
Submission.
Romanized. Yes, submission.
What does Romanized
So
mean?
to Romanize it means to in a Latin way to bring it, meaning the word Muslim is not an English word.
Oh,
It's an
yes.
Arabic word. And the
Yeah.
word Islam is not an English word. It's an Arabic word. You understand? So,
Yes.
and so goes the word masjid and so on. They are all Arabic words. But what you find the modern day people doing is whenever they are speaking, they like to chime in with words. They chip in words, borrowed words from other languages, especially with Arabic. So if you take most of the mainstream scholars speaking about the Islam, you see them using Arabic words in between their English
Yes.
sentences.
Yes.
Okay. So then that concept became a trend where we got stuck to it. So when somebody identifies as a Muslim, then automatically people are tagging you as maybe a Sunni or a Shia. But that's not the concept. The concept of being a Muslim is someone who submits to God, not somebody who follows sectarian point of view. Are you getting my point? So if we say Islam, let's now bring the word to English. So let's talk about submission. So now submission.
So you translate
Now,
that Arabic word into English. If you
yes,
say
simple.
you're a Muslim, if you translate, that's an Arabic word that we just use.
Exactly. So you have to say you are a submitter to God. Simple. That ends the argument.
Submitter to God. This
It
is what I
does.
tried to tell some people close to me, but like, it doesn't really, the message doesn't go through.
Yeah.
Because
So
there's so much baggage with the word Muslim in like America, for example.
okay, so let's use the example. Let's go to the Quran, right? I'm going to show you an example right now.
Okay.
If you go to the Quran, you put the Quran on the page, and I give you an example here. If you go to Quran chapter 2, verse 131, let's use Abraham because he's the best of examples we can use as a role model, according to God, right? He's the best example we can use. So, Quran chapter 2, verse 131.
You mean to pull it up on the screen?
Sure, you can pull it up. You can pull it up.
I know you have your own translation. I just Googled it.
I do. If you can put it on the page too, it will be easy for.
You want your translation up there? What's the website again?
Is the Great Quran, the Quran with a K, thegreatquran.com.
Before we read your translation, how can we trust your translation? This is your translation. That's incredible.
Yes, it took me 6 years to do that. Well, I did it when AI was not even available.
Oh, what was the verse again?
It's chapter 2, verse 131. You have it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, maybe you can maximize it a bit. And it has the option of editing the background. If you check the sign of the settings in the corner, right hand corner, you click it, and then you go dark theme. Take the dark theme off. Yeah. So
Boom.
this is yes.
So this is you made this website. Did you make this you made this website? Or
The website, thanks to my brother Mohammed from God. He was the he was the engineer behind this.
Really? Okay, it's all coming together now.
Mohammed from God. The title suits him best when he has to fit in my storyline, because Muhammad was actually sent from God to me. So we met at the right time, and so he was able to help me set up the kind of things I need to reach the right audience, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, here I'll read this verse. Is this Surah chapter 2?
Chapter 2, that's Baqarah, chapter of the Cattle.
Okay, yeah. The longest chapter in the Quran, verse 131. When his Lord said to him, "Submit," he said, "I have submitted to the Lord of the worlds."
That is Abraham being referred to.
Abraham.
Yes. That is Prophet Abraham. That is our role model. That is the one God stipulated for us that we have to follow his footsteps.
I have submitted to the Lord, which means he's Muslim. if you
Yes,
translate that to
that's
Arabic.
exactly. If you translate
Yeah.
that does he's a Muslim. Yes. So you submit. And look, in the Quran, there is no concept of saying, okay, I want to become a Muslim, so I have to say a Shahada. There's no such concept is a
Okay,
foreign
this is
concept.
what I thought. This is what I thought. Because I read, it was really like everyone has a unique has their own journey, and like my
Yeah.
journey was unfiltered. Like I just read the Quran. There was no, I
Yeah.
didn't really learn about Islam prior, besides like learning about, well, learning about the Bible. I knew God was real. My parents, taught me from a young age. You give thanks to God before you eat. You can pray to God. You ask God for help. We went and would go to church, learn about God. So I knew
Yeah.
about God, but not like the
Yes.
Quran. I read the Quran, and then I started making videos about it. And people were like, "When are you going to say your Shahada?" And I'm like, "What is a?" Like, when I learned what the word Muslim meant, I was like, "Wait, I'm a Muslim. I've been wanting to be a Muslim in the sense of Muslim just means you submit to the will of God." And then
Yeah.
I had the same. What you just said is like that's what I thought. Like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
do I have to say? This reminds me in Christianity, they're like, say that you believe that Jesus died for your sins. Like, if you can confess that, like, you've made it.
It is a mind game. Okay,
Yeah.
let's make it simple. Go to chapter 30, verse 30 of the Quran, chapter of the Romans, the Byzantines.
30 verse 30.
Yeah. Let me just give you the gist that you have always been in a connection with the God, but you were not paying attention. Yeah.
Therefore, establish your aim, the orthodox religion, such is the nature of God, upon which he has originated mankind. There is no alteration to the creation of God. That is the valuable religion. But most of the people do not know.
You see it? Now that is the gem. That is the hidden pearl or gemstone you're looking for. Now, it's just that you were not aware, you didn't know. But that is the originality, that is the nature that way God has set mankind upon. But somehow when we come to this world, we drift away from it because we start taking people's opinions, so that is why Quran chapter 17 verse 36 says, do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge.
And
Don't pursue.
what does that mean? Was it with what you have no knowledge?
Yes, chapter 17 verse 30, meaning don't follow things blindly out of ignorance. Don't do that. Don't practice it. You need to understand God. You need to look, when I'm talking to people and they ask me, how do you pray? I start laughing. You need to know God before you pray to God. You can't pray to God or worship God if you don't know God. Then it means you are worshiping something you don't know. And God doesn't need that kind of servant. That kind of servant is a fool. And when I say that, it's not an insult. I'm taking this inspiration from the Quran. I can prove any word that comes out from my mouth. You can put me to the test. I can prove it via verse of the Quran. Yes. So when we start with chapter 30, verse 30, God is telling you, therefore, establish your focus, your aim, your attention, your face to the Orthodox religion. Meaning what God, up to standard, what God accepts as your line of faith. Then he says, such is the nature of God upon which he has originated mankind. So this is why correctional officer is telling people you need to unlearn and relearn. Unlearn, because what you have been taught is people's opinions. So you need to unlearn that and relearn by going to the actual source of God. So God says in Quran chapter 10 verse 82, and he will enforce the truth even if the criminals dislike it. By his own words, he will enforce the truth. So what matters in our livelihood is about the truth. Grayson, tell me, what matters in life if not the truth? If you have a relation with a family member or your boss, your wife, you mention it and they are not truthful to you, what is the essence of being connected? Tell me.
And in regards to a relationship, that's the foundation of a relationship. Like,
of course.
If you can't trust someone,
then don't
be around them.
That is the point. So when it comes to business, when it comes to livelihood, family members, anything, you mention it. If there's no truth, the truth is missing, then that is bogus. Anything you are doing is useless. And that is what our life is about. So in order to know God, you need to know how to follow the truth.
And when you say follow the truth, okay, maybe this is my immature like understanding of God and belittling it down to rules. But when I like think about this for myself and I like take it, follow God, follow the valuable religion, I immediately think of stopping X, Y, like, okay, don't be an adulterer, don't drink, don't smoke weed, like things that don't do that. Is that like an incorrect way to think of God? It's just like it's not doing what the world, like it's not doing the obvious things.
Now that lane is about wisdom. When you come to that lane of not doing those things, it means when you attain wisdom, that is where you have the knowledge of understanding who God is. So you start to do the things that God wants from you. But you need to stumble in order to get up. You understand? So I give an example. Prophet Musa, alayhi salam, he killed somebody unintentionally. So if we have to judge him by this modern day and age, we can say he was once a murderer. Right? So in the legislation of Pharaoh wanted to actually prosecute him, but he ran away and went to Midian. And this story can be found in Quran chapter 28 or chapter 20 and so on. Is there. But he went to Midian so that he came back after he received guidance. Now, what I'm telling you is to err is human. Whilst you are on your journey learning, you make certain mistakes, you commit certain, fallacies and so on along the way. But there's a saying which says experience is the best teacher. Whilst you are accumulating those experience on your journey going forward, then you start trimming down on the nonsensical aspect of certain things you have done in your livelihood. You understand? Till you reach what we call the status of having close to perfection. You might not be perfect, but you will reach close to perfection. That's why we learn from our mistakes. So to commit sin is part of the human nature. You can't look. God asked the prophet to ask for forgiveness for his sin. That is in Quran chapter 47, verse 19.
You see, the prophet asked God for forgiveness for his sin?
God asked the prophet, he told the prophet to ask for forgiveness.
Oh, okay.
For his sin.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to say that prophet will sin just like you and I or any other ordinary human being. But to sin is inevitable. There are certain things. Look, you can even sin to somebody and you don't even know that you have sinned. To be honest, I'm not just drifting away from the topic. I paid a visit to a friend, and I said something to his wife in front of him. I made a joke. It was just a silly joke. I made this joke. Everybody was smiling, and she even smiled. And it took 3 years later, she actually confessed to me that I offended her, and she held it within her for 3 years. I'm serious. I never knew I hurt her feelings. She never told me. Her husband never told me. When we went back to visit them 3 years later, she actually told me. So can you imagine?
You didn't even know that you sinned against her.
That is the point. So how much more God? You get my point?
Yes.
So this is why to sin is inevitable. But look, when you have the knowledge of God, when God has guided you, then now you can be careful on the things that can actually make God get angry with you. Because now you know God. You have the wisdom of knowing the do's and don'ts.
Yes.
So that is why God says, do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. So if you don't have knowledge about something, don't go to it. Because you'll be held accountable. And that is according to 1736. He gave you the hearing, the eyesight, and the mind. Why? It's just like a worker being given tools and he has no idea how to use the tools. So tell me what will happen to that worker.
To happen to the worker who doesn't know the truth?
Who doesn't know how to use the tools for the work? The tools.
Tools.
Yes.
What
do you think will happen?
He's screwed.
Big time. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the reality. So God gives us simplicity. The human being doesn't like simplicity. And it started with Adam. The human being hates simplicity. You understand? Even when we propagate this notion of saying come back to the Quran and follow the guidance of God, people tell us, look at these guys, they want the religion to be easy. In my head, I'm like, are you silly or what? Why are you telling me I want God says he made the religion easy. Okay, Grayson, just put it on the page. Everybody can see it. Put chapter 22, verse 78. And see, am I the one making it easy, or God says is verse 78? Yeah. So just see what he says.
Okay. And we strive for God with true striving to him. He has chosen you and has not placed any difficulty upon you in the religion, the creed of your ancestors. Abraham, he named you submitters before, and it is concerning this that the messenger will be a witness over you, and you may be witnesses over the people. So establish the litany and give the charity and stick to God. He is your guardian, and wonderful is the guardian, and wonderful is the helper.
So if God is saying he has not placed any difficulty upon you in the religion, Grayson, do we expect the religion to be difficult?
No.
So what is the animosity coming from people towards us, saying that come to the easy path? And they are telling us, "Whoa, now these are the enemies of Islam."
People who say what you're saying, are you like referring to the animosity in the chat, for example, right now?
No. The chat, I don't give a hoot about who
Oh, okay,
says
me either.
what.
I wasn't looking.
No,
I didn't know what you were referring to. You're talking about in real life, the animosity.
In
of
real
someone
life,
who says
I'm talking
this.
about real life. You know, your family members can even hate you for taking the stance of following the Quran as your guidance. They can even hate you for that. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, that's confusing if it says this is the book.
Yeah, but I'll tell you why that is. Because who is our greatest enemy, Grayson? Do you have any clue? Our greatest enemy?
As people who follow God? Like me and you, or humanity in general?
Humanity in general. Who is our greatest enemy? In the religious perspective.
I would say the deception. Like, you know, you could give, to me it's a concept, but like shaitan, Satan. The concept of deceiving you.
That is the point. That is the deceiver. That is the deception. That he's our greatest enemy. That's our enemy. He's our clear enemy. God calls him Aduwan Mubin. He's a clear enemy. Now, let me tell you the promise that the devil told God against us, and why these divisions and so on are happening. Who is causing that? You put on the screen Quran chapter 7, verse 16 to verse 18, and let's check.
7 verse 16 to 18?
Yes. No, just put 7 to 16 and you go back. Click back, it will come back again. Just put 7 to 16. Yeah. Then it will bring it.
Boom.
So we read up to 18, and then you see why.
Okay.
This is the devil speaking, and see what he said from 16. That is Araf, that's the heights.
The heights. This is, wait, what chapter is this again?
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7. Chapter 7 in the Quran, verse 16.
Yeah.
I'm going to read through 18.
Yeah.
Okay. He, referring to Lucifer.
Lucifer, yeah.
I already love this. This is so helpful. The blue, the name.
Yeah.
That's always
Yeah.
confusing me when I read. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? He said, Lucifer said, because of what you have trapped me, I will sit for them on your straight path. Then I will come to them from their front, and from their behind, and from their right, and from their left, and you will not find most of them grateful. He, God, he said, go out from it, disgraced and banished, for whosoever follows you, among them I will fill hell with you altogether.
Now,
So Lucifer, the devil, deception, is saying, because what you have trapped me, I will sit for them on your straight path. Oh, like I will try to get in front of, I will try to block them from the straight path.
Yeah.
I will try to block them from the straight path. Then I will come to them from the left, the right, the front, behind, above. And you will not find most of them grateful. So Satan's job, deception, is to disrupt us from the straight path.
Yeah. That is our biggest enemy.
Okay, and when I think straight path, like I immediately think of just like the biggest obvious sins that any Christian or Muslim would like not want to do. Is that like condensing down God into like simple rules? Like does that make any sense?
It doesn't boil to just simple rules. I will tell you why. Look, you see,
I wonder why that's what I think of, because it's like, oh, I could change that and that.
Okay,
I need to not do those four things.
I understand what you're saying, but the concept of guidance is not what I think or you think. It's about what the boss is telling us, so that you work on that. You understand? Even at a workplace, your best critic is your boss, so that you can work on your way. So knowing the straight path, the question is, we have to ask the book of guidance. Where is the straight path? Which one is the straight path? Where do we find it? Because the devil said he will sit on it. So where do we find it, Grayson?
Where do we find the straight path?
Yeah, you have any idea?
Could find it in, I think
I gave you a hint there. It's in the verses. There's a hint in the 3 verses you just read.
Where can we find the straight path?
Yeah, there's a hint there. You missed it.
He said, I will sit for them on your straight path. I mean, first off, the straight path is probably not, first off, what is easy, because it literally says Satan is going to disrupt you from it. So it's going to be things that are pulling you away.
Okay, so let me give you the gist of it. I put footnotes there. You see yeah.
Oh, you mean...
So now take this reference. Let's go and check.
So you put these verses here.
Yeah.
Wow, this is...
It's a reference of the straight path. So the reader, when you take it, the reader will now take the reference, put it, and check what the Quran is saying. So the best way to explain the Quran is to let the Quran explain itself.
Okay, so this is the reference to the straight path.
Yeah.
In more 6153.
Yeah.
And moreover, this is my straight path. Oh, here we go. So follow it, and do not follow ways. Then you will be separated from his way, that he has advised you. Thereby, perhaps you will become pious. So the straight path is to be pious.
Yes, that is why when you open Quran chapter 2, verse 2, it says, that is the book wherein there is no doubt, guidance for the pious.
But it says like, this is my straight path, and I'm like waiting for it to tell me.
But you're holding the book. You're reading from a book. So, Grayson, I'm holding this book.
Okay.
This is the Great Quran. This is the hardcover.
You got the hardcover. Oh,
yeah. I think you.
I didn't know you sold those.
Don't worry, you'll get a copy.
Oh.
This is the book I'm reading, right? So in English, this haza in Arabic, it means THIS, and it is something in front of you. You have it, right? So now I open to chapter 6, verse 153. Then it says, and moreover, these. He didn't say that. He said, this
is the book.
This is my straight path.
But
so that is why we
where does it say the straight path? Are you saying throughout the book?
It says there, the verse we are reading.
Oh, like the entire book, this is my straight path.
You are, yes.
Okay, I was thinking it was like about to tell you what it is. But you're
so
saying the whole book is the straight path.
That is why we seek refuge against the devil when we read this book, because you don't want your mind to be infiltrated by certain thoughts. And
because the book tells you that that's going to happen.
That is the point.
Aha.
Because where did the devil made the promise? He says, I will sit for them on the straight path. So this is why other people will start having disparaging views, telling you, no, stay away from the Quran. You can't understand it. Go away.
What if they don't even know, they're discouraging you from reading it They don't even know what's in it.
Still, that's the devil doing that.
That's so hard to like.
Grayson,
Conceptualize.
the devil knows the Quran more than you. Yeah. So that's why he has to sit there and then drive you away from it and tell you, no, that this book is a book of confusion. You can't understand. Come and take these other books. Let's convince you there. Come. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
So
Especially
we are
'cause you
going to
referenced the other
to
verse.
factory reset you, Grayson. We are going to put you on factory reset. Okay.
Like iPhone.
So so what happens is let God be your guide, because in chapter 1 verse 6 you are telling God, you see I gave a reference there. Check the footnote there. There's a reference there. 1 verse 6 is telling you were telling God should guide you, right, to the straight path. Now you check the verse and see.
I'm so grateful for this conversation.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, I'm pulling it up. I'm gonna pull it up on another tab so I can switch back. One. Al-Fatiha, the opener. 1 verse 6. Guide us to the straight path.
Yes, you didn't say any other person or any other entity to guide you to the straight path. You said God should guide you to the straight path. So now why depend on other people for guidance?
Are you referring to the hadith or any other book?
Well, if you want to mention the hadith, that's up to you. I'm just speaking in general to against whoever it may concern. But if you say God should guide you to the straight path, Grayson, let's break down. I told you I'm going to put you on factory reset. So if you tell God, guide us to the straight path, now are you going to be dependent on somebody else to guide you to the straight path?
No. You ask God.
So he's the Almighty. Yes, he's the all powerful. So the same God who guided Abraham without any other external books or any other external sources, why can't the same God guide us again through his own book again? So now let God speak to us. That's why he gave you the book of guidance. So he says, Quran chapter 2 verse 185, he says, the month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed as a guidance for mankind. Yeah, it's not a guidance for the Arabs or the children of Israel alone or something. It's for mankind. So I will only say, unless if you're not part of mankind, then you don't need guidance from the book of God. You get the point? So if God is talking to us, and this is why you need to open up your mind. You seek refuge against the devil, then so that he doesn't infiltrate. Let me tell you why. The devil can infiltrate you, and I can give you examples to that. You can go to 41:36 and you see how he infiltrates your thoughts.
41 verse 6.
Verse 36.
I like how much 36.
41:36. Yes.
I like how much we're reading from the Quran.
Well, that's the book of guidance.
4:36. Are you drinking a coffee there?
Not coffee.
Tea.
Yeah.
4:36.
Yeah.
And whenever an incitement from the devil incites you to evil, then seek protection with God. Indeed, he is the hearer, the omniscient.
Omniscient, yeah. He is the hearer.
He's
the hearer.
Question about the translation. What does it mean when it's in all caps?
It's just to give the attention to the word or to the entity. So when I put it in caps, I only did that in the Quran for God. He's above all. I only did that for God. So when I put it in caps, the reader cannot skip it.
Because it's always in caps when it's referring to God.
Yes.
Okay, I noticed that. Okay.
So the reader cannot skip that. You know, it's just like when you're we're trying to advise a student or something, and you put something in bold letters, in caps and bold letters, the student cannot miss that.
Is there translations out there that look almost identical to this one?
No.
How is that?
Well, you're good at reading books and reading whatever. I can give you the assignment. You can make a research and find out. But this is just a gift God gave me. And a lot of people are amazed and touched by what I did. If you ask me to do the Quran again, to translate, I might not have time to do that again.
Yeah.
Sometimes it baffles me. I did it when the AI did not exist.
Yeah. How were you? Were you making content at that time?
No. I wasn't a content creator.
How? So did you have? I mean, if you wanted to share, like, did you have a job and then you were doing this after?
I was a student and I was working at the same time when I started. Yes. I was a student. I was in college and I was working.
Oh, you were in college, so you were. How old were you when you
well,
started?
I'm in my mid-30s. I just don't pinpoint a direct figure, but in my mid-30s, yes.
Wow. But you started translating when you were a student and working.
I started in the year 2012.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Muhammad from God, when I spoke with him, he said, yeah, like he has his translation. I was like, wait, he translated the whole thing? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, wait. I already love how much it references the other verse. It's like a web. Like
that's the point. And I know with the help of my brother, I know God will let us improve more on the page. Time is coming. It will get to a point when you click on the footnote or the external reference, it will take you to another straight. We'll work on that. But let's go back to the main focus on factory reset, because the assignment is to put Grayson on factory reset. You see, so if you let the Quran do the talking, things become easier and clearer. Remember, the slogan of the book is called the clear book. That's a slogan God uses a lot, the clear book. Then somebody will tell you, why is it not clear? Because maybe your IQ is not up to the level. It's just like a student being in a classroom and you don't get the concept of what the teacher is teaching. It means there's something wrong with you. You see, so God is speaking to people who are willing to use their intelligence. And God always, most of the time, he asks us, will you not reason? It's a book which wants you to reason. You know, it baffles me when people read the Quran and say they find the concept of Quran telling you to sleep with 4-year-old girl or young girl. No, it doesn't exist. It doesn't. Those are external sources infiltrating the translations. So I will appreciate it when people say, I found it in the translation, instead of saying, I found it in the Quran. And that is why, correctional officer, I put it on myself with the help of God. I challenge anybody out there, whether Christians, whoever, claiming something against the Quran. I will sit down and let them come and face me and prove to me that logical inconsistencies. I'm waiting for them.
For any logical inconsistency within
the Quran, they should come and prove me. I will make sure the person understands the Arabic language of the Quran first.
Oh.
Yeah, he will not use any translation. No, not even my translation. He will read the Arabic and explain what it says.
So is it possible to understand unless someone like me would just rely on you, someone who's already done the work of not growing up speaking Arabic and then learning Arabic and learning how to translate it?
You don't rely on me. You see, okay, let's break down the Quran. Do you see the Arabic language there?
Yes.
And then there's English translation.
Yes.
And then there's transliteration. The transliteration is to give you the gist of what is being said in the Arabic language. So you are not relying on me. My role is done. Now, the Quran on the page, it becomes your role to deal with it now. So now I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to the reader. You can look worse up, investigate. But however, I keep telling people that, look, For those approaching lexicons and dictionaries, if you are approaching, please have just at least try to learn some basics in Arabic language, the structure. Just learn some basics. It will help you. Because look, in Finland, I'm based in Finland. Grayson, no matter how many books you have read, if I give you Finnish language, just one page of Finnish language, and I give you a lexicon, and I ask you to translate the page of the Finnish language into English, God bear me witness, you can never get even one sentence right by using a lexicon.
Lexicon?
Yes, a dictionary. Let's use the word dictionary. With the Finnish language, you can never, ever, I repeat, get it right. One sentence in Finnish language. I throw the challenge to anybody watching.
Translating the Finnish language into...
It's the second most difficult language in the world.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Do you speak it?
I speak. I've been here for 14 years. What do you expect, Grayson?
Okay.
Yeah, I speak above average. So I'm there. Not perfect, but above average. But if the concept of, look, I speak about 10 to 11 languages. You see? You open your eyes. Well, you're wearing glasses. You can take the glasses off and look at me very well. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding. In my country alone, I speak 6 languages. In my country.
In Ghana.
So yeah, in Ghana. So people who know me will tell you. So I speak about 10 to 11 languages. And so language is kind of a gift that God has given me already. It's not like I just, stood up out of nowhere and no. And so God has given me the ability to break down the concept of how to understand a language and how to translate. Because when you're translating a language, it is not only about translation. You need to know how to interpret a language. So many people think, okay, when I'm dealing with the Quran, I just need to take a lexicon or a dictionary to translate. No, you need to understand the dialogue, the context, the subject matter, and the content in order to interpret.
By knowing, you need to learn Arabic.
I would say even not to the perfection, but even basic Arabic language is enough.
And you're saying, like, at the beginning of my journey, like, the amount of emphasis on, like, the Arabic, because I'm not used to that. Like, in the Bible, learning the Bible, we just read it in English in this version. Like, there's never 2 languages on the book. So at the beginning, I was like, why is it so focused on Arabic? But the point is to preserve it. So they just, like, it never changes because it was revealed in this language. That's the belief. And it will never change. Is that why? That's why you have to learn Arabic, because it was revealed in Arabic. It wasn't revealed in English.
It's not a condition of being a must, because God made a promise that every nation will receive a messenger. So it is through the messengers God will actually spread out this same concept of Quranic message into other languages. So we shouldn't worry much about saying that I need to learn Arabic. I'm saying if you want to be sure of verifying the things you are being told, then at least you should know some basics in Arabic language. That's what I said. I'm not saying it's a must.
Okay.
Right? So the point is, let's say if I'm going for a treasure and it has a codified message, what do I need to do? I will need to understand the language being used in the codex in order to break that, thing in order to get my treasure, right? So now let's assume the Quran is a treasure now. So I need the gem in this treasure. What do I need to do to make it easy? I don't want to be a blind follower, right? So I need to verify the things I'm being told. That's the point.
So learn some basic Arabic, yeah.
Yes, it will help. That will help. It easily helps you to eliminate doubts. You get my point? So that you don't become dependent on just the translator and saying, okay, because Baba Shuaib did this, so I just believe him. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
That is my point. So,
okay.
The concept of guidance. Look, let's stick to the concept of guidance. The book of guidance, God is the guidance. Now, sorry to let you take, but go one more time before we move on with the conversation. I want to show you a verse. Look what God says in Quran chapter 2, verse 38. This is very important. It has to do with guidance. Chapter 2, verse 38.
2 verse 38. We said, wait, who is we?
Just if you read the context, he's talking about God and his angels, but it's a story being narrated to the prophet.
But it's not capitalized here?
No, because here it's not like God speaking directly. It is the messenger now conveying what God said. So the messenger in between the messenger of the human beings and God.
Okay.
So he is saying the we. So I need to differentiate, because if I capitalize it, people will still get confused.
Okay.
Because when God himself is speaking, most of the times in the Quran, you find I. He will say, I, God.
Okay.
So do you need an example?
Yes.
Okay, you go to chapter 20, verse 14.
So the we you're saying is Muhammad revealing the verse.
No, it is the angel which is a mediator between Muhammad and God. He is the one using the we.
Oh, okay. But we is like insinuating that he's one with God.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I work in the sales and marketing department. I'm a supervisor in the branch I work, right? So when a supervisor is assigned, he's a representative of the boss.
Okay.
So when somebody comes to our department looking for something, and he asks me, hey, do you guys have this? I can say, yes, we have. I'm speaking on behalf of the company, the boss. So I can say, yes, we have. So using the word we doesn't denote I'm the owner. No, it doesn't. But because of my position, representative, I can use the word we. So we need to understand how to differentiate. This is why I said let the Quran be the guide and then guide you, so that it gives you the clue on how to differentiate or decipher the words of God from the words of men or whoever. You get my point?
Yeah.
Okay. So now chapter 20 verse 14 gives you the clue on how God speaks.
Yeah, I'm glad you explained that, because that brings clarity. Like if a messenger went to another kingdom and was like, we are starting war, or
exactly.
we don't want to do that. He's talking about the king. Okay.
Yes.
That helps. Okay. Indeed, I am the God. There is no God except me. So worship me and establish the litany for my remembrance.
Now, do you get the simplicity here?
The simplicity?
Of what I'm breaking down. That's God speaking.
Yeah. There's one God.
Exactly. And in this context, he was speaking to Moses.
I don't understand it quite exactly. I mean, one of my friends he's doesn't align with necessarily any religion, but is exploring. He's like, I don't understand why God, like, it just seems so weird to say, like, worship me. Like, why does God want us to worship him?
That you need to understand what the worship entails. The act of worship is like both serving God. I give an example. When your boss employs you, why do you think the boss employed you?
Because I can help bring the company.
So
money.
You have to serve the boss. You are serving him, right?
Yes.
So in other instances, we can say you're worshiping the boss because you are devoting to him. You're devoted to him.
Yes.
Hypothetically, in other instances, we can say you're worshiping him because you're devoted to him. So let's say at the working hour, another company comes and say, hey, Grayson, we need your service. You'll be like, hey, sorry, I'm already devoted. Yeah, I can't. Or I'll get fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the aspect of worship.
So be
that is why
to me.
Yes, so that's why you find the do's and don'ts in the Quran. That's the service. It's a service.
And if you want to worship me, then you follow this pure path of...
Simple. You follow the instructions he's giving you. That is the service. So that's the worship. That is what it entails. It doesn't mean how the sectarians made it in the ritualistic form, and then they leave the aspect of humanity. to be kind and good and so on. They leave all that. And then they base it that if you don't pray one prayer, you are going to hell. No, 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 no. You get my point. So if somebody tells you if you don't do one prayer, you are going to hell, just ask them the youth who slept in the cave for 309 years. Quran chapter 18, verse 9 up to verse 21. They slept for 309 years according to the Quran. So are they going to go to hell for missing 309 years of prayers? Grayson. So let's go to the verse. Chapter 2, verse 38.
Okay, 2 verse 38. We said, descend therefrom altogether, and when guidance comes to you from me, thus whoever will follow my guidance, there will be no fear upon them, nor will they grieve.
So is guidance of God I need to follow? Does it say guidance of somebody there?
It does not.
So he says, when guidance come to
From me.
Yeah, from me to you. He didn't say from Sahih Bukhari. No. He never said from Sahih Muslim or Sahih Bukhari or Paul or anybody. So when you read the Quran, what is the first statement used on top of the Quran? Do you remember?
The first statement revealed?
On top of the Quran. When you open the Quran, the first statement you read from the first chapter, what does it say? The first statement.
In the name of God?
Simple. In the name of God.
In the name.
Do you find that in the Hadith?
No.
Do you find that in the Bible?
The first statement? No.
Okay, thank you. So now I need guidance from God. If it says this is in the name of God, yes, yeah, I stick to that. That's what I need to hear. Then my duty is to find contradictions. If I find contradictions, it cannot be from God. But I'm not saying you have to be shallow-minded to find contradiction. You have to be highly intelligent.
To what?
To find contradictions in the words of God. Because let me tell you why I'm saying that. If it boils down to contradiction, sometimes people think because of their level of IQ is low, they think they have the capacity to break down and say the Quran has contradictions. So let me rephrase that. I was doing a test with my daughter. We were walking along the street and we saw a big dog. And I told her, well, is it a dog? Or is it, oh, and I said, oh, sorry, it's an elephant. And then she looked at me, she's like, what? She's like, Baba, are you serious? I'm like, but this cannot be a dog, it's too big. And then she asked me, Baba, what is it? I said, is it a dog or an elephant? And I said, no, it's an elephant. My daughter had a straight face and she was like, is my dad crazy or what? And she's like, Baba, this cannot be an elephant. And I said, no, it is an elephant. She asked me, where is the nose? And I said, are you saying a dog doesn't have nose? I asked her. She said, it has, but the elephant has a long nose. So I was actually putting her to the test. I was checking her IQ level. Some people can just agree with you. Are you getting what I'm saying? Some people can just agree with you when you say this is elephant, this is a snake. You can say, oh, yeah. Oh, this is this. Oh, yeah, I agree. So I was putting her to the test, but I was acting like I didn't know what was going on. So I said, this is an elephant. And I had a serious face. She was confused and kind of like questioning my logic. And she was like, Baba, are you serious? This cannot be an elephant. This is a dog. And I said, I asked her, so do you know a dog? She said, what do you think? She asked me, what is wrong with you? It's a dog. And she said, okay, let's go and ask the owner. Look the logic she's using. She said, let's go and ask the owner of the dog what it is. So I still acted like I was ignorant on that. And I told her, no, this cannot be a dog. This is an elephant. And when we got home, she literally has to call her mom to explain to her mom that Baba doesn't know what the dog is. So I had to confess to her, and I told her while I was playing with her conscience, I wanted to check if she actually knows, and for certain, because I was arguing with her point. just to see that can I use my authority to override her. She didn't give in, which means her intelligence was still intact. So
Check.
in order for somebody to come and say Quran has contradiction, God has to use servants like me to challenge you. I need to put your logic to the test also, to see that if that person has the potential to say there's a contradiction in the Quran. So you have to check the logic of the person also. Simple.
Yeah. And when you say
So that's
contradiction, you mean just like.
So let's say,
up in
for
error?
example, I give an example. God says he created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. He normally uses 6 days, 6 days. You will never find a verse where he will again say literally or explicitly where God will say, okay, I created in 7 days. You will never find that. When you find that, that becomes a contradiction. But I'm not talking about somebody going to chapter 41, verse 9 to verse 11, and he says, oh, he's here, he says 2 days, here he says 4 days, here he says 10 days. So when you join it, it means 100 days. No, that's not what I mean. That is your own logical fallacy you're creating. So when we talk about finding contradictions in the words of God, God put forth this challenge in Quran chapter 4, verse 82. You can put it on the screen if you have time. Chapter 4, verse 82. And he says, do they not contemplate the Quran? Then he says, had it been from other than God, they would have found therein numerous contradictions, or we can say discrepancies. You can go back and then put the verse again. Yeah, chapter 4, verse 82. Yeah, that's the verse.
Chapter 4, verse 82, do they then not contemplate the Quran? And had it been from other than God, they would have found numerous contradictions therein.
Yeah. Yes. So that is a challenge. Will the Bible accept us to do that also?
Like, does it say that in the Bible?
No, it doesn't. But will it accept us to allow us to do that?
We should, if we're being honest.
Exactly. Would the Hadith books allow us to do that?
I haven't read them all, so I don't know.
Hypothetically, just assume you've read it. Will the Hadith books allow us to do that?
Will they allow us to find no contradictions?
Yeah, to examine the book.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we should be examining them. I haven't examined them, so I
Okay,
can't.
so if the Quran is giving us the chance to examine it, and he says, do they then not contemplate the Quran? Contemplation comes with questions. You can't contemplate something without asking questions, right? Grayson,
Yes.
That's exactly what you're doing now. You're contemplating Islam in general. You're contemplating religion, guidance in general, truth in general.
Yes.
So you're asking relevant questions.
Yes.
Yes, this is what you need to do with the Quran.
Okay.
Because you're seeking guidance. That's why it's called the book of guidance, right? Okay, so now, in order to understand that the Quran is the book of guidance, to make it simple, this verse, we'll come back to it. Just put 45 verse 11. Verse 11.
45 verse 11. This is guidance, and those who disbelieve in the verses of their Lord will have the torment of painful punishment. Sheesh.
So I'm not saying it. This is what the owner of the book is saying.
And when it's referring to this, it's meaning the book.
Yes.
The whole book.
That's the point.
This is guidance.
This, the Quran. This. That's why it's THIS. It means the following. Something in front of you. Not something over there or somewhere. So these. And it's singular. It's not like a plural, these or... No.
Okay. So, if this is so clear to only follow the Quran, which... I didn't get told from a young age anything about the Quran, so I had really little, only negative things from the news or whatever. Basically, I was not programmed to think anything other than when I read it and was like, because I thought the same thing. Okay, this is only the book, and then I go to, like, the first time I ever went to a mosque, I learned, we were like, yo, you got to wash yourself. I was like, oh, that's fascinating, okay. washed ourselves. We go in the room. I'm like, there's nothing on the wall. This is the most simple room I've ever seen. It's just a carpet. I was astonished at the simplicity. I was trying to figure out like where the front office was because I'm used to like a big building.
Yeah.
So simple, like besides the carpet being like beautiful, very bland, I would say. Very not flashing lights. It's just like a carpet. Anyway, we prayed. Then I was like, can we go look at the bookshelf? And we went into the corner of the mosque in the bookshelf. And I saw all these books, right? And I'm like, I see Arabic everywhere, so I don't understand what I'm looking at. And I'm like, what is all this? And he's like, oh, like a lot of these are the hadiths. At the time, I didn't know what that was. And I was like, these are the sayings of the Prophet. And I was like, wait, what? Like inside, I was like, oh, but there's another book? So if one only wants to follow the book, the Quran, like what Abraham followed, how do you do that if the mosques around you, when they talk about Islam, I've only been to Juma like 3 times, and I remember the very first time I went, it was like the whole thing was a hadith story. Maybe at the beginning they recited a verse from the Quran, but then it was a hadith story. So like, how do you practice it?
That is typically what they do. And I'm telling you today, Jason, I'm telling you, and I'm using your platform to throw a challenge to anybody watching. The Quran is the hadith. Yeah. The Quran is the hadith, and is the real hadith. And is the best hadith. And there's no hadith like it.
So why has this happened then? I mean, you're not God. You don't know why, but like...
The answers are in the book of God. When the sectarians, when they preached Islam, don't they say God knows best?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back to God. Quran chapter 39, verse 23. Let's go and see.
39:23?
Yes.
The groups. 39:23.
Yes.
God has revealed the best discourse, a book similarly repeating. The skins of those who fear their Lord shiver thereof. Thus their skins and their hearts soften to the remembrance of God. That is the guidance of God, by which he guides whomever he wills. As for one whom God leaves astray, then he will have no guide.
Now, what I want you to pay attention is, look at the word, the best discourse. And can you please gently tell the audience the transliteration? If you can pronounce it, the red ink.
For right here, God has revealed the best discourse. Allahu nazala asana el hadithi. Oh,
thank you.
I didn't see that.
You got it right. Al hadithi. Okay, so now God has revealed the best what? The best hadith, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's go to their hadith books. The sectarians. Let's go to their hadith books. Can you kindly type sunnah.com? I'm going to show you something. Sunnah.com.
What does sectarian mean?
The sectarians means people who are divided their religion, like to give themselves name, like the Sunni sects. So here you are going to choose Sunan an-Nasa'i, the third one, after Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. That one. Then what we are going to look for is, you go to the column down, you are going to look for 1578. Go down. Scroll downwards.
Oh.
Go in between 1000. Sorry, go up. Now numbers on the right, we are going to use the numbers on the right. So in between 157, that is 1556. Click 1556.
This one.
Yes, click it. Now we are going to look for 1578. I'm going to show you something interesting. Remember, the Quran says it is the best hadith, right? So now we are going to check something, what their hadith books also say.
Okay, forgive me. This is confusing to me. So I just keep going.
Now you scroll down. You look for 1578. You're almost there. Go up a bit. Go upwards a bit. I'll tell you.
Oh, you mean this number right here?
Yes, this number's in the column. You look for 1578. Yeah, up. Yeah, you're almost, around that. Come down a bit. Is the next one down. Next one down. Yes, this one. This one. You can maximize it a bit.
This one.
Yes. Maximize the page a bit. Okay. Now, within this hadith, if you look on the right hand side, yes,
The Arabic?
now you see, I want you to see something. You see the Arabic letters you're seeing, the sentence you are seeing. You see the first column, second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column. Come to the fifth. Fifth. Stop there. Fifth. In Arabic, it says, Inna asdaq al-hadith kitabullah. That lane. Yeah, stop there. It says, indeed, the most truthful or the most honest of al-hadith is the book of God.
Al-Hadith.
Yes. If you like, you can swap pages. You can go back to the Quran, my translation, and then you come back again if you can swap it. I think StreamYard allows that. The tab.
Yes.
Yeah. So now you go up a bit. I want us to compare the Arabic language a bit. Stop there. So now you see the Arabic lane up there. You can highlight it also. In the Arabic letter sentence there, up there, first lane. Just highlight the first. It's okay. It says, Allahu nazzal al-ahsan al-hadith. God has revealed the best hadith. And it's literally written there, hadith. And it says al-hadith. You see, so it says God has revealed the best hadith. That is, I'm trying to stick with the Arabic word in English. So I'm saying hadith. Because the word hadith is not an English word also. It's an Arabic word.
What does it mean?
It means discourse. I just translated it. It's there.
The best.
A discourse is more like a discussion, something you are being told about, a narration.
Okay.
So their own hadith, which they classify as Hasan, which means it's a good hadith. It's not a bad one. So as the scholars of the mainstream sectarian religions, they use this hadith a lot. They use it a lot. They classify it as good. And they use it to preach to the people. So now this hadith is the best form of what? Hadith is the book of God. So the Quran itself is al-hadith, is the best hadith as a matter of fact. But then let me show you the contradiction. Then when you continue the statement, it says the truest of word is the book of God. And it says the best form of what? The best of guidance is the what?
Guidance of Muhammad.
So this is the contradiction. I'm going to show you. Now, this is coming from the hadith book. This is not from the Quran. What they claim as hadith book. I call the Quran the hadith. I don't call this book the hadith. I call it the stories. Anyways, I'm going to show you something. They are saying the best form of guidance is the guidance of Muhammad. So, who is supposed to guide us? Is it God or Muhammad?
Yeah, I don't get it. Well, he's not here.
Yes, but he's dead and gone. So they will claim the books, the narration somebody allegedly wrote about him is what we have to follow as guidance. Is that what God said?
Even though God said, God has revealed the best discourse.
Yes.
Al-Hadith.
Yes. Because God knows people will create other hadiths. So he gave us the best one to follow. Yes, he knows that. He knows the future. We are going to factory reset you, Grayson. So now they are claiming Muhammad has the best form of guidance. Let's go and ask Muhammad in the Quran, peace be upon him. Chapter 2, verse 272. Chapter 2, verse 272. We are going to ask Prophet Muhammad, does he have any guidance to offer us?
272.
Yes.
Does Muhammad have any guidance to guide us? Let's see. Their guidance is not upon you, but God guides whomever he wills. And
Thank
whatever
you. It's okay. The context is okay. The next context is talking about charity and so on. But let's stick to the first lane of the verse. So their guidance, our guidance, is it based on Muhammad? We are. I'm not putting any case on you, Grayson. We are talking from the words of God, right? Our guidance, is it based on Muhammad? Is there anywhere God says Muhammad is responsible for our guidance? There's nowhere in the Quran where it says that. Where he says,
I thought there's one verse that says, which I don't know if this is for forever or for them at the time, but it says, if there's a confusion, let Muhammad, it's a paraphrasing, let Muhammad decide.
No, it doesn't say let Muhammad. I'll help you out. We will go there.
Okay.
We will go there. It's used the word messenger. If you differ about anything, then refer to God and the messenger. It never says refer to God and Muhammad. Muhammad, remember, Muhammad is his personal life. He's an entity on his own. But his duty is different from his own personal life. So now this is the Quran speaking. He says, their guidance is not upon you, but God guides whomever wills. Because the notion of guidance is in the hands of God, not in the hands of anybody. And this is where the people get the missing link. Look, we, the ones who claim to follow the Quran, we venerate the Prophet, we respect him, we honor him, we support him, but we will never idolize him. That's the difference between us and the sectarians. We don't idolize him.
What would it mean to idolize him? Man,
when you idolize someone, you take him in the status of God.
Is it like you don't believe it's a spectrum?
Still, in the aspect of religion, no, you don't idolize anybody.
What about the prophets?
In the aspect of religion, no room for the prophet to be idolized.
But like all the prophets, like
none of them.
None of them deserve. But what about? I mean, you talk about them differently because you say peace be upon them. Like you don't say that. People won't say that about you or me.
We are talking about prophets. You mentioned prophet because it's a grade, it's a rank, right? So prophets, when we mention prophet, they have their own ranks among people, right? But prophets are not meant to be idolized. You want a verse for that? I can give you a verse. Do you need a verse?
Sure.
379.
I gotta hop off in about 3-4 minutes.
It's okay. We can reschedule another time for.
Yeah, for real.
No,
I feel like we could talk all day. There's so much. I can't believe that you translated this whole thing. 379.
Yeah, 379. Maybe you can ask the AI whether I did it or not.
Whether you did what?
Whether I translated it or not.
If you translated correctly?
No. Whether I translated the full Quran or not. Because the AIs, people seem to believe the AI too much.
Oh, you're saying the AI says you didn't do it?
No. I'm saying maybe if you want to ask the AI, because that's the new oracle people go to and ask it every question.
Yeah, including me sometimes. The new oracle.
The new oracle. It is an oracle.
I mean, it is extraordinary. I mean, it has so much information.
It is, but it's dangerous.
But what's the alternative?
Elon Musk himself spoke about it. It's dangerous. We are summoning a demon.
Oh.
It has both the good and bad side, and the bad side is greater than the good.
But the internet is almost worse because it's like...
we are talking about the same thing. AI cannot exist without the internet.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Seems to be more objective, though.
Yeah.
Okay, it is not for a man that God should give him the book, the judgment and prophethood. Then he would say to the people, be my servants besides God, but be spiritual leaders. But be spiritual leaders through what you have been taught of the book and through what you have studied. Okay, let me try to understand this. It is not for a man that God should give him the book, the judgment and prophethood. Then he would say to the people, be my servants besides God. Wait, so it's not for God to...
No, it is not for a man.
Oh, like it's not for the purpose of to improve his life or to...
for the man to come and tell the people, hey, be my servant, devote yourself to me.
Yes, but it seems like most what I've learned about Islam, like people view themselves as almost like a servant of Muhammad.
The factory reset is working.
Yes, well, it's like this. It's almost. I already was almost factory reset, and then like when I, like okay, devout Christian. I know God is real. I know there is truth in this religion. I know there is truth to purity. I know when I go to church, I'm around these people. There is something superior about this pure life that we're learning about. But there's some stuff I'm confused about. 3 years later, read the Quran. I'm like, aha, this is it. And then I go to a mosque for the first time, and I'm like, oh no.
That confusion again.
Yes, like not nearly as much, but like still like, wait, this religion's all about God. I read the book. This religion is all about God. And then I see it practiced. I'm like, it's about God and trying to figure out what Muhammad did and follow Muhammad. When
It's
Muhammad
about God. Take anybody out of the equation. It doesn't mean we don't respect the prophet. It doesn't mean we don't recognize him. We recognize him. He has his spot somewhere, right? So leave him in that spot. Respect him in that level. Done. But now devote Islam, the entirety of the religion, devote it to God. Case closed.
That's what the word means.
Simple. Okay, let's end with the last verse. Chapter 18, verse 110. What Muhammad himself said as a messenger. Let's check. We end with this verse.
Say, 18 verse 110. Say, I am only a human like you, to whom has been inspired that your God is one God. Your God is one God. So for whoever is expecting to meet his Lord, that let him do righteous work and should not associate anyone in the worship of his Lord. But if this is so like, yes, I mean, if I were to say this to someone who follows Hadith and such, like they'll have so much knowledge and they'll have like a response about why they follow Hadith. But
that is
either
why,
way,
Grayson, that is why correctional officer is there. I'm serious.
yes, I mean, this is like everything you're saying today, like you're saying like the factory reset, like this is how I felt. And then I'm like, why is no one else thinking this? Like, am I the only one seeing this cycle? Because I study every religion, you know, like most religions, and the cycle is repeating itself. Like Buddhism is about worshiping the Buddha, but the Buddha said you're stupid if you worship me. Wait, but if this is so obvious, why is it not?
Because the
obvious?
devil, I just gave you the deception. I just told you who is in charge of the deception, the delusion. You get my point. Look, when it comes to the aspect of faith, don't do away with the devil. He always has a role to play. The moment people neglect the concept of devil, that's when they are carried. They are taken without noticing. The devil has a spot.
Why do people consider your message dangerous?
Because when people wake up, it's dangerous for mind control. You can't control people when they are awake, when they are woke. So that's why it's dangerous to enlighten the people. Yes. No, tell me, just be honest, Grayson. We spoke for almost 2 hours. Tell me one bad thing I've said today.
One bad thing. I don't
Yes,
know.
one negative, something bad, something which is not supposed to be heard. Tell me one bad thing I just said.
I'm being honest. We talked a lot about the Quran, and every verses we read talks about worshiping God. That's what you're saying.
Yes, so thank you. So why would somebody think I'm the enemy of Islam?
I don't know. When Islam means you just follow God. So
simple. So we devote it to God.
I guess because it doesn't seem as structured as modern day Islam that's being taught. There's not.
That is the point. Institutionalized. They've institutionalized Islam. Islam is between you and God. It's not between you and people. Are you getting my point? That's why I use Abraham as a yardstick to give you the example. He submitted to God. That's it.
Yeah.
But today, they've made it like an institution. So they give legislations, rules. You understand? You have to follow protocol, which is not from God. So whose religion are they practicing? Are they going to teach God about their religion? Or are they going to teach God about his religion? So who should we listen to? Now, this is the messenger. The last verse you just put on the screen. That's the messenger speaking. Are we going to obey the messenger or not? Grayson, if yes, then let's stick to what he said.
La ilaha illa Allah.
Yes, there is no deity but God. But Grayson, I think you didn't do the audience a favor. You didn't read any comments today. You didn't do them a favor at all. But anyways, when we reschedule next time, we'll think about that.
About reading what people have to say.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
we let them out, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'll be very pleased to hear some of the insults coming from the opposition as well. So it keeps me moving. That's why my
Yeah.
TikTok grew bigger. I love it when the hell insults. It's good.
Yeah.
Because if the people don't hate you for what you do, you're not doing anything good.
They hated all the prophets before.
Exactly.
Okay, Baba Shuaib, this will not be the last time we speak. God
Inshallah, God willing.
willing.
God
Inshallah.
willing.
Thank you so much for your time. I really
You're welcome,
value
bro.
the years that you've devoted to this, and literally just listening to you is fascinating.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you to my audience. Also, big ups to my brother Mohammed from God. He was so much anticipating for this to happen, and yes.
Yeah.
And also to my fans, all of you, people who actually appreciate what I do towards God. When I know some people, when I use the word fans, they get angry. They say, hey, don't use the word fans. Well, Jesus even called people to support him towards God. So when people support you towards God, we can call them fans. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You understand? So
Yeah.
I appreciate all the support to the people out there, people who love the work I do. I'm actually bringing heads together reasonably to logically think how to follow the ways of God. That is what matters. That's all. So Grayson, thank you very much for your platform also, and for the honor, I would say.
Yes.
I thank you for
Yes.
this. Okay?
We speak again
I
soon.
appreciate that. So hopefully we keep in touch.
Oh,
Peace
for
to
sure.
you.
Peace to
Till we
you.
meet again. Thank you all.
God bless, brother.
Peace.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Wow, guys, what a stream. There's just so much on my mind. But it's so simple what he just shared. This is what I've been thinking the whole time. We'll speak again. Baba Shuaib, correction officer.